Hey guys, it's Joshy here, and I am here with my first challenge video. Now, this one is a little bit like a theme team because it's a whole team. I was only to use confusion as suggested, but remember it can be little sections of a battle or things you want me to achieve, like win with only a couple Pokemon, or do this or do that. Be creative. If you have any others, even if you already suggested some, I'm probably getting around to it, but chuck some in the comments, think about them, because I want to get as many challenges done as possible. So anyway, we're going to jump into our first battle, which is not the person you probably saw in the title. We're just going to battle. So this guy is actually Eros, the guy who suggested it. Now, I did verse him, which was pretty cool because he had some really cool sets on here. Now, he doesn't run tiers, it doesn't, understand or run by tiers, but he actually had some different sets which were good, which weren't just generally like stupid, as you see everywhere sets, which is cool to run them, and they do well. But, I mean, whatever. So anyway, I lead off with my Noctowl. After I get attracted, I didn't want to stay in, so I swap to my Jumpluff. And then he uses the Toxic Spikes, which literally was the turning point of this whole battle, was that one move. So nonetheless, I go for the Confusion, obviously. That's literally all I'm going to go for. Now, this Jumpluff is a bit of defense, I believe, speed, and then special attack investment. So none of them are maxed out, it's just a mixture of the three. Could be special defense, I can't remember off the top of my head exactly which one. But he has, which I didn't get to use in any battles. I nearly did one battle, but then something happened. But he actually carries, his ability is Infiltrator. So I thought that way, if someone's trying to, sub, and if it's taking a hit or two to get rid of the sub, then, I could bring him in and hit him behind the sub to cause a problem, and then they don't want to really rely on the sub, or people who sub down for berries, so I thought that's a cool idea. And my Noctowl, who you saw, I'll go through in a minute. So anyway, I did also speed these battles up just a little bit, and then there are a few extra ones at the end which I've sped up a fair bit. So if you do like just seeing them, or if you did battle me and have a decent battle that I said I might use, then stick around your battles probably towards the end. So nonetheless, which is a term I've realised I use way too much, I'm actually going to take out the Cloyster there with Confusion with the Jumpluff. So that is something I never thought I'd say, is that I used a Jumpluff with Confusion to take out a Cloyster from almost full health, like, whatever. Anyway, here he brings in his Glalie, and the Glalie is, she's a really cool, interesting set, because originally I thought, oh no, Moody, but then it actually is, the idea of this one is to try and get people to bring in, a steel rock or a fire, and then pull out the water pulse. So anyway, I thought, okay, well, he's getting boosts here, and I was like, what's the Moody going to be? And his evasion goes up, I'm like, yeah, and then special defense falls, and I'm like, I could use this, because he's going to outspeed me. Now, this Behemoth is at this point, I'm like, damn it, it would have been cool here if I had a Synchronize on him. But I was thinking it, but then I thought, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to run Analytic because he's slow, and I'm going to use that to my advantage. And he doesn't have very good speed, generally, and then the IVs are quite low in it. It's not, completely zero, but it's low. So anyway, I'm going to go for Confusion over and over here. And he goes for the Water Pulse again. I'm like, okay, I'll go for the Confusion. And, it's doing nice damage. Like, you look at that, that's Confusion, because if you read while I was chatting, he actually had another 1 or 2 Spadef drops, and I'm like, this is really good. This Moody is, it's helping him in ways, but it's actually really helping me. And I'm like, okay, well, he's going to probably go for the Protect again, but literally, okay, you'll see everybody but one Pokemon on this team only carries Protect as their move, because 1, it helps the other Pokemon, but 2, which you'll see, but 2, it is also the challenge. All I could use the Confusion. I thought, maybe Z-move. Nope, no Z-move, just Confusion. And I was like, maybe set up. No, I'm just using Confusion. And surprisingly, I had some alright battles. I had some horrid battles. And not too many, actually. Most of them I usually took down at least 3. So, Anyway, so the Confusion, here with the Behemoth is doing a lot of damage. So I'm like, oh, thank goodness for the rest. I know he doesn't have Chesto because he's having leftovers. As long as I don't miss, because I know he has a slight boost in his evasioncy, but then it actually falls there. I'm like, yes! Okay, fingers crossed, everything crossed, Behemoth's gems crossed on his hands, and he goes for the Snore. I'm like, don't flinch. Yes, no flinch. And I'm going to take it out there with the Confusion. So I'm like, woo! Like, this is... because I've seen, battled him a few times, and I thought, especially someone who doesn't have tiers, but as I said, he had some really cool sets with these guys. I thought, I'm going to have the worst luck and 6-0. And then when I didn't I've taken 2 out. I'm like, okay, this is going pretty cool. This is like, it was really fun as well. But I was just surprised that he didn't sweep me because I just expected it to happen with this team. Now, there I could almost said nonetheless again. I'm going to try and say it a little less. I go down there to the hail, actually, and I get a decent chunk off there, and I thought, okay, here's where I'm going to bring in the Noctowl, because the Noctowl, as well as the Behemoth, but the Noctowl here, this one is max HP, because its base HP is 100, which is really good, and has a nice special defense as well. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to touch the special defense, but I'm going to max out the HP so I can take hits defensively as well. And because you'll see here, he goes for the Blizzard, and I just scrape in living there on 15 health, and he was like, how the hell did you live? And then I've got the weakness policy. So I'm like, that's a good way to, at least give myself a boost. And then I miss, and I'm like, damn it. I think he said he was Bright Powder, like, as double team. Then also Snow Cloak, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I miss again. I'm like, I just need to hit this thing. Come on. And then he gets cocky. He went for the double team again. And then he thought, well, he might as well get the hail back up to make it harder and take me out. And then my confusion lands, and I'm like, yes, okay, thank God I took this evasive thing out, and oh, that was so close. It was just lucky. But Noctowl really was a fun set. Some of these were so fun to use, and they were literally just confusion. Like, it's just, I don't know, this was such a fun challenge to do, but God, it was weird. So anyway, I bring in the Kadabra here, and this Kadabra could hit a lot harder. Like, that does good hit, but that's all he's got here is actually a Focus Sash. Now, I was considering, specs or that, but I thought, a Focus Sash is going to be I just think it's going to be better in case I really need to hit something that's, like, really hitting hard or outspeeding at this point. And even though I outspeed a lot of things, then I get 2 hits out of it. Also, I was originally thinking Synchronize for Kadabra, and then I bred a really good one without it, and it actually had Inner Focus, and then I thought about it, and I'm like, no, I'm going to run that, because a lot of battles I'll lead with Kadabra, which I did, and you'll see some later, where I get Fake Out, but I still get to be able to attack, and which is really cool. And if anyone's wondering, Confusion only has a 10% chance of actually confusing someone. I thought it was a lot higher, and once I started doing this, I was like, really? Like, I understand it's 10% freeze, but it's literally only 10% to confuse? That's so annoying. So anyway, I bring in Mr. Mime here, and this guy is the powerhouse, honestly. He is max speed, max special attack, choice specs, and technician. So for anyone who doesn't know, okay, choice specs you can only use one move, and your special attack power gets an extra 50% on top. And when it comes to technician, I get an extra 50% power to all moves that are 60 base power or less. So with, see there, look, poison, changed it. I could have taken him out and stayed around, because he's a hard hitter. But, yeah, sorry, Technician, so Confusion's only 30 base power, but because it's 60, so then it gets up to 90 with Technician, then it goes up to 135 with Stab, and then it goes up by another 50%, which is, just over 200. So anyway, here's my last one. This is Normalized Delcatty with Assist and Choice Specs. Now, the reason I run Normalize is not only do I get a 20 or 30% boost when the move from Confusion gets changed to a normal type, I actually got it here because I can hit dark types with this Pokemon. No one else can but Delcatty. And I actually funnily mucked around in the battle tree at the moment with the Delcatty, this exact Delcatty, because I'm chucking a Volcarona and something else behind it, and some of the moves it's pulling out. It's just fun, and actually sometimes really works. Sometimes it does not, but other times it really does. Obviously walled by Ghost Pokemon. But anyway, I'm going to go down there to the surf now. As I said, if the Mr. Mime clung around there, that would have been good, and I could have done that, but unfortunately that's a no. Anyway, so Pimpnite's, this is the battle against Pimpnite I had, and I did not expect it to be this good. Okay, so he leads off with Persian. Now, this won't go up for sure until his team comes out, I'll make sure. Now, this is his trump team, obviously. So he leads off with the Persian, and I was like, grab her by the pussy. And I was like, I don't know, what he's going to go for. And then he goes for the Skull Bash with the Power Herb, and I'm like, oh, and this is why it's really good to run the Focus Sash. So I go for the Confusion, and Pimpnite, he gets confused. That's a 10% confusion. I'm like, alright, okay, fingers crossed, because it's only 33% to hit yourself in Confusion. He gets through, and I'm like, okay, that's alright. But he actually went for the Mimic, because I'm guessing that might be the only 2 attacks. I'm not sure, because I haven't fully seen the whole team yet. Anyway, I knock him down, he just lives, and I'm like, damn it. And then he hits himself in Confusion. I'm like, yes! Oh, I've had so many battles where I'm like, if only this would get confused, or if one did, I'd be like, hit yourself in confusion. 3 times in a row it doesn't, but finally I got a bit of luck with that. So I was like, oh, finally. So he brings in the young goose, Trump Jr., and he goes for the yawn, and I was like, okay, well, what I'm expecting here is me to stay in, even kill him, I go to sleep, something else comes in and sets up on my sleeping Kadabra. So I swapped out to the jump luff, and as I swapped it, I typed it to him in the chat, I was like, ah, crap. Now, young goose and Gumshoos get the ability Stakeout, and if you swap Pokemon, the power goes up to by 50%. So this is a last resort, which is 120 base power. I think goes to 200 base power in the Z move with the breakneck blitz. Then an extra 50%, plus it's stabbed. So that goes up to like ridiculous amounts. So that absolutely one shots. I should have just stayed in, but I was afraid of the setup. Nonetheless, jump laps down. I'm going to bring it. I said nonetheless again. I bring in the Kadabra and take that out. Here he brings in the wall. Trump wants to build, and I'm like, oh no. Well, I'm going to hit him with the confusion there. I'm just like, let's just hit him once. He'll take me out. I'm like, fingers crossed, toes crossed. Don't get a boost. And honestly, I'm so surprised you can get a boost. You'll see he uses it a fair bit in this battle. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll bring in the Noctowl here because I've got Tinted Lens. Now, if anyone doesn't know what Tinted Lens boosts the not very effective moves up to just normal move power. So if I hit something like this where it's not very effective, it's going to hit as strong as if it was just general, normal, like, without being weak or that. And I get the confusion again there, guys. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, how am I doing this? This is so lucky. And Pimpnite's just getting saltier and saltier. And Ben's just like, Ben's Pimpnite, if you don't know. Ben's just like, this is like the salt at the end. And he was like, you know. Anyway, so it actually snaps out there. And I thought, oh, well, I'm going to swap in the Behemoth because my special defense has been dropped so much. I can't afford to get hit. Anyway, he's going to swap out of the wall here. And he goes into Mrs. Trump, which is the Lopunny. And I was like, okay, I'm not sure what set he's running on this. And I thought, oh, well, the confusion did alright damage. And if he attacks, I've got analytics, so I'm going to get an extra 30% power. Plus he hits me with a Shadow Ball, which I live. And I get the weakness policy, so my special attacks are doubled. So now I get the confusion off, win analytic, double the power, plus the 30%. And I absolutely womp that thing. So he brings back in the wall. And I'm like, oh, well, I've got the boosts. And I'm actually faster because this thing isn't fast at all. It does alright damage. You know, you got to remember this is not very effective. Now, unlike only, as I said, Noctowl's the only one who can hit it normal. So I thought, oh well, I'll just keep going, get more damage, chip it off. I mean, I'm guessing if it's Stally, it could be, it's obviously not running poison or anything, but it could easily be Rest Sleep Talk or Rest Chesto or God knows what. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to bring back in the Noctowl here, fingers crossed. And he actually withdraws the wall again, and I'm like, oh, just hit me with the ancient power so I can get the boost. So anyway, this thing's obviously a bit defensive, I can tell, so I get 2 confusions off, I don't get it, and then he goes for the toxic, and I'm like, okay. I can't let Noctowl go down because I am going to struggle against the wall, like a Mexican will if Trump gets his way. And so I'm like, okay, into Delcatty here. I need to make the swap. I can't take any poison damage. So Trump comes in here and I'm like, oh, okay. I love the shiny Gumshoos. I got one myself called Nashi. Anyway, and I use Assist. I get the extra boost and get the confusion off. And I'm like, okay, let's see how much this does. I am Spec, so I get the extra 50%. I do just under half and I get the confusion. I'm like, okay, what the hell now? And he hits himself in confusion. And literally that could have changed so much here because that Gumshoos... Like, Gumshoos can hit hard, and even Ben's going, it's ridiculous. Like, you know, well, he wasn't that aggro, but he was like, you know, come on, like, that's the one Pokemon on my team that can really work, and it just hits itself in confusion. 10% chance to get confused from the move, 33% then chance after that to hit themselves in confusion. So that is not much at all, and I got away with it. So he brings back in the wall, and I'm going to hit this thing like a freaking wet sock. Like, wet paper bag, I should say, because it is rock steel, so it's 4 times resistant to this, even with the boost. But I'm like, I don't need to save Delcatty now. It's done its job. I'm just gonna hit this guy. Hopefully, you know, he's not setting up on me unless he gets his ancient power boost. And as I said, like, I've already said he doesn't get it, but it's ridiculous. Like, I'm so surprised he didn't. If it was the other way around, with my luck this battle, I probably would have got 2 or 3. So here I'm like, good, I'm going to bring back in the Noctowl because he's going for the attack here, so I can take it. I take that so well because this thing's special attack ain't that great. And so I get the weakness poly activation, and I'm like, okay, now I'm ready to really knock down this wall and let everyone free. So here I go for the confusion, and that does some real nice damage. As I said, this thing is very bulky, you got to understand. He goes for that again. I'm like, please don't get any boost because I need, and he doesn't. I do take damage from the poison there, but I'm like, this is good. I get the confusion off again, and that is enough to take out the wall. That honest Noctowl set was the best idea I had because I knew there was going to be some that had stopped me, and it just really helped, especially in that case. So Trump's hair comes back in. It's all that's left in this battle. Trump and everyone else is gone. It's just the hair that survived. And so I go for the confusion, and he lives on. That had to be like 1 to 3 health. And nonetheless, he goes for the rest and gets all his HP back. I'm like, okay, we resto chesto or what there? And he's not. So he's obviously rest sleep talk, but the poison's going to take me down. So even though I wasn't going to save my Delcatty, I've still got the Delcatty and I've got the Mr. Mime in the back, so I'll be surprised if I can't win this. So I go for the assist, okay? I get the confusion because it's the only move anyone else knows, and it does just over half, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I only need one more hit. What's he going to get here? So it goes for sleep talk. I don't know what his attacking move, and he gets rest, and Ben was like, you could tell he was salty. I could smell and taste the salt in the air, and that's it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please do confusion that like button because it does help, and chuck any challenges you have down in the comments, and I hope you enjoy the next videos. Until the next video, guys, I'll see ya.